everyone. Lately, I've noticed that we have quite a few new people in our community, in our chats, in our comment sections as our subscribers. And lately, I've been noticing in things such as the Facebook group and on Twitter, a lot of people asking questions that I thought were just common knowledge at this point. Usually, questions about things that they haven't heard of because they happened quite some time ago. So I thought this is probably a good time to make a couple of compilation videos going over these things of the past that help lead many of us to the conclusions that Katie Joy is quite harmful when left unchecked. The first one I thought that I would cover for such video is the brewery incident. So to fill you in, this took place in June 2020. Katie Joy's husband's new album had been released, was coming out on a new label. So the day that it was to be released, Katie Joy just happens to announce that the label received the most horrific, threatening voicemails about Katie Joy. Now, you're going to hear a lot of talk about a brewery because it was actually the brewery that received the phone calls, but she kind of misconstrues the two of them. And like basically, because they're owned by the same people, she just, I think, assumes that they're one and the same, even though there's really nothing there to connect one to the other. So obviously someone had to have known the Paulsons closely and known their business associates closely to have made this connection. But I digress. So we're going to start here by reading some tweets where she announces this. So for the first tweet, we have, what is it that I've ever done that warrants people sending death threats? Have I murdered anyone? Have I AR'd someone? Have I brutally abused or physically harmed someone? No. Tell me why anyone would harass a brewery while leaving death threats about me on voicemail. Just found out that my husband's record label, their business, a brewery, received 40 messages last night from a woman that sounded drunk and was leaving them death threats about me. When will this stop? The death threats were directed at me. Sorry, must clarify. This group of men do not deserve this level of harassment. I feel sick. My husband's friend, who I have never met, was so upset by these messages. He told my husband they were violent and graphic. I can't imagine having to listen to that. We are waiting for the recordings and details about the phone number to report it to police. My husband's label boss and his employees located a 4chan thread dedicated to me, I guess. 4chan, the anonymous board that is filled with incels, white supremacists, and racists. The platform that is notoriously violent and filled with hate speech. They were all talking about me. Next, I'm going to play a couple of clips from videos that soon after followed these posts or these tweets.
It literally is just sort of kicked out of the algorithm. So the video is kicked out of the algorithm. So I'm trying to okay, I got to find another topic. I got to do something. And my husband runs upstairs and he's just like, I got to talk to you. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, I have to go downstairs because I got to take Bubba out to go swing. And he's like, but Austin called me and he said that. Don't say names of business. No, I won't. He's like, Austin called me, who's his
So for those of you who might have missed what Todd said there, Todd said, no, don't give out any names or anything like that. And she said, oh, no, don't worry, I won't. She had already given away enough, though.
Label owner for his record label. So today, you guys, my husband's record came out, which was supposed to be a really exciting day for him. It's been, he worked on this album for such a long time. And he worked so hard on it. And he was it was just such a big day for him. So, having Austin call to have Austin be like, oh yeah, by the way, somebody called us 40 times last night and they were wanting to talk about your wife and they didn't know who I was. So yeah, they basically, this person calls Austin's business and starts leaving messages. And they called 40 times at Austin's business and left messages about me that were violent. Like message after message after message after message of very terrible things said about me. And this person doesn't even, so the craziest thing was they didn't know who I was. So Austin's never met me. And this is like a company that I've never been to. I've never, like, my husband and Austin's relationship is totally separated from me. Like, I don't have anything involved. I have 2 lawyers, by the way, so don't worry about that. You can can they get the album on Bandcamp?
Oh yeah, that's where we're having.
So they're doing
until midnight tonight.
Yeah.
If they buy it through Bandcamp, whether they buy the physical copy or the digital download.
Yeah.
100% of that money, me and Rob are going to donate to the Native American Cultural Center that was burned down.
Okay, so my husband's album is being sold on Bandcamp on their Canis Dearest Bandcamp page. And until midnight tonight, if you purchase their new album on Bandcamp, 100% of the revenue from purchases are being donated to the Native American Center in Minneapolis, which was burned down by looters from the protests. So if you are interested in that kind of music and you want to be a part of like giving back, like today's purchases will go directly to build a new help build the new Native American Center.
Also, Bandcamp is waiving their fees.
So Bandcamp is waiving their fees.
And the fees that Bandcamp would normally take from these sales.
Yeah.
Not only us, but every other Bandcamp artist. Bandcamp is donating all of that money to the NAACP.
Okay, so basically my husband's portion of the funding will go directly to the organization that's for money for the Native American Center. And then Bandcamp, they're waiving their fees, and all of their fees are going to be actually donated to the NAACP bailout fund. So
That's interesting. I just noticed that I never put 2 and 2 together there. So the label's fees are being donated to the bailout fund. Now, mind you, this was right around the time, just after the big part of the Minneapolis riots after George Floyd's murder. So a lot of people were donating money for bailout funds and stuff like that. But at that time, though, when people were on Twitter talking about the bailout funds, Katie Joy was having a meltdown, telling people how dare they bail out these troublemakers and everything, and how her city was on fire. How they're part of the problem. They're bailing these people out. And here she is advertising her husband's label, donating money, and she's helping them, make the sales in which to obtain the money to donate to the bailout fund. I just picked up on that. Okay, moving on.
Again, Independence to the Beast on his new is the new album on.
Just have to take a moment here and point that out. Before going on the slide, she had the story all. Can't. I swear to God. Okay. Before going on the slide, she had the story all penned out in her head there about the horrific, threatening, violent phone calls and the harassment that this record label Brewery got or whatever. But she didn't bother to have memorized the name of her husband's album. She didn't bother to memorize the name of her husband's new album. Wow.
Canis Dearest. It is a metal album. It is very ambient. It has a lot of stuff going on. There is a song dedicated to our son on there. It's a very personal album for them. So maybe I could post a link. It's an app, isn't it?
No.
Is it bandcamp.com or do you have a link?
I was going to post a link.
They ditched their old label because they got from this woman last night who was irate and very violent about me.
To stop there for a second, if anyone wants to get the backstory on them ditching their old album, I will put a link up here in the corner. You'll see an eye pop up there in the corner of the video, and there you can find a link to a video describing and explaining all that went down regarding their old label, because that's quite another story.
I know it is always something. I am always a victim, lead, dirt, dust. What do you think? Do you think I deserved to have some lady call Austin 40 times and leave threats? Can't with you people tonight. Like, anyways, I'm not trying to be quiet. It's just been an incredibly like emotional day because like I am totally fine with people criticizing me and stuff, but like this is the kind of stuff that it's like I don't even understand. I don't understand what I've even done to even make someone feel that way. Like honestly, there's so many lies that are put out about me. I know, and and I read the affidavit for Chad Daybell and Lori Fallow, and I was like, that is so sick. And now there's these new allegations that come out about Chad and stuff that he did to other women. And it's like so crazy to me because there are literally vile, evil people out there that are doing terrible.
Okay, we're going to move on. Oh, we're going to move on to the next video here, because here she plays the voice messages. But first, I want to point out, though, notice how in that last video there towards the end, how defensive she was getting because people were questioning her on this. I mean, think about it. Had she actually received those messages and been this victim in which she was describing, then her response would have been more like, believe me, I wish this weren't true, but it is. Rather than, oh, what, do you think I deserve this? Awfully defensive, no? Moving on.
Hey guys, I need your help. We received like a bunch of messages and I cannot place this person at all. Like I've been trying to like rack my brain all day for this voice and I can't, it sounds familiar, but I don't know who it is. So I'm going to just wait for a few of you to come on. But like 2 days ago, so my husband's record label, his record label owner also owns a tap room or brewery where they brew beer and stuff. And they received like 40 messages throughout the day from this woman who like sounded drunk and she like left a ton of messages. And they started deleting a lot of the messages before they realized what was going on. And so they didn't know who I was because it was like my husband's friend. So I don't know how they actually connected me to this like brewery.
They just did a Google search. The woman was saying Katie Joy, so they just did.
No, they figured like, so the brewery figured out it was me, but I don't know how this woman connected me to this brewery. The brewery is owned by the record label or the owner of the record label of my husband's like very small independent record label. So I want to play you guys the clips, and it came in from a blocked phone number, and she called like 40 sometimes, and I don't know if this voice is, so I'll just play them for you.
Yeah. First off,
I'm going to set the playback speed at normal so you can hear this, because we have a theory on who it is that made these phone calls. And right about here, you're going to see another eye up in the corner here, and it's going to link you to a video. And it's going to link you to a video in which I compare the two voices, and you can listen for yourself and make up your mind. But for now, I'm going to play this at a normal speed.
fuck with me, I'll fuck with her every goddamn day, and don't you forget it. I will fuck with her. Goddamn day, and don't you forget it. I will fuck with her.
So that's one of them. I don't know. I can play it one more time.
Yeah. First off, fuck with me, I'll fuck with her every goddamn day, and don't you forget it. I will fuck with her.
And then here's the other one.
Katie Joy's a bitch and she needs to die. 4:55 p.m. Katie Joy abuses her children.
Is it?
5 p.m. Katie Joy abuses her children.
She sounds drunk, right? Yeah.
Furthermore, I want to comment on this. She says that the owners of the brewery did not know who this Katie Joy was. So they Googled Katie Joy, and that somehow led them to Todd's wife. Because apparently if you Google Katie Joy, it comes up as Todd's wife. No, I'm kidding. But think about it, though. I don't know. I can't help but to think if this were my business and I knew no one named Katie Joy, and I'm hearing these messages, they're not really threatening. I would think, I don't know who the fuck Katie Joy is. This isn't for me. And I would just go about my day. No, because she only plays a few messages, but she says that 40 messages were left, but yet she only has like 3 or 4. Yeah, no.
Katie Joy's a bitch and she needs to die. 4:55 p.m. Katie Joy abuses her children. p.m. Crystal Ball fucks with me. I'll fuck with her every goddamn day, and don't you forget it. I will fuck with her.
All right. So, do any of you recognize that voice? Have you heard that voice before? I know there's a lot of these like smaller channels that like yell at me and stuff, and I don't know if it's any one of them.
Horrible existences people fucking lead.
I'm just trying to figure out who it is.
Gross.
I can play it again. Hold on.
p.m. Crystal Ball fucks with me. I'll fuck with her every goddamn day, and don't you forget it. I will. 55 p.m. Katie Joy abuses her children.
How many children do you have?
p.m. Crystal, I will.
Oh my God.
Definitely intoxicated, maybe not drunk, maybe under the influence of something else, but definitely intoxicated. I do not know the voice. I don't know the voice either.
Oh, intoxicated on stupidity, just like all the Reddit people.
Just like how the Reddit
See,
people.
all the people that I could think of off the top of my head, they all have like Southern accents. And I feel like this doesn't have a Southern accent, right? Does it have a Southern accent?
p.m. Crystal,
Not even close. This has a Midwestern accent, if you ask me.
fuck with me. I'll fuck with her every goddamn day, and don't you forget.
Accent to me. It doesn't sound like a Southern accent. And I feel like there's like a few people that come to mind, but they all have Southern accents. How am I calm about it? Well, I've heard it so many times at this point that like I can't like. It sounds like a Midwestern accent to me. Because I've heard it so many times. Like the first few times I heard it, it made me feel really upset. But now I'm just literally trying to hear who it is. And it's like sometimes Southern accents are very easy to hear, and then other times they're not.
p.m. Crystal, fuck with me. I'll fuck with her every goddamn day, and don't you forget it. I will fuck with her. Katie Joy's a bitch and she needs to die. 4:50 uses her children.
I have given it to my attorneys, but I don't know, like, without who it is, I don't know how we would do anything. Not a Florida accent. An older lady with a kind of deep voice.
Florida has an accent?
Yeah. She left 40 messages at this brewery. Like, I don't know who it is. Like, I don't know who I fucked with. Because I don't remember fucking with anyone on Thursday. It's definitely not baby girl Lisa. If baby girl Lisa wanted to get in touch with me, she literally could. A smoker from the Midwest. It's an older lady. Yeah, it is definitely an older lady. I feel like there's a whole group of older ladies that hate me. 40s plus smoker. And the voices sound like different.
One was left at 1 p.m. and the other one was left at almost 5 p.m.
So what?
3 hours to drink whatever she was drinking.
So one was left at 1 p.m. and one was left at 4 p.m. and she just literally kept, or 5 p.m. She literally just kept calling for like hours and hours and hours and hours.
PM. Crystal, Ball, fuck with me? I'll fuck with damn day, and don't you forget it. I will. Enjoy the bitch, and she needs to die. Dork.
I didn't actually, they didn't call me. She sent these messages to a brewery that is connected to my husband's friend.
She sent
So literally like his business. So the business ends up blocking the phone number, and she kept calling from a blocked number.
Did you catch that? Did you catch that first? She sent these messages. Then the business ended up blocking her phone number. Then she kept calling from a blocked number. So why not trace the number that she originally called from that the brewery had to block? And notice how she says, I'm just going to give it to my attorney.
I don't know, is it a real voice or a voiceover either?
No, it's an actual voice.
It sounds like a real voice to me. But she sounds drunk between the first one and the second one. Maybe Northeastern. She's not slurring her word. No, she sounds like that's harassment in a real voice. Why do I always have problems? It's because of what's going on with me. But it's a real voice and it's a real person. It happened on Thursday. I'm not trying to like, maybe a customer that was pissed off. I don't have customers.
It's not,
And they were calling about me. They do have a caller ID at the brewery, but she called from a blocked number.
But they blocked the number. Oh,
Enjoy the
let's do it
bitch,
again,
and she needs to die.
because that will help.
She could be lurking on here. Oh, of course. She says, Katie. Yeah, she said Katie Joy abuses her children.
how many children do you have?
I only have one child.
That shows how fucking stupid this person is.
I do only have one child.
Every one of these fucking people that does this shit, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I have one child. Just one. You'll find this person for me. Yeah, I have a child. Could she be related to Micah Stauffer or 8 passengers? I don't. Micah's aunt.
PM. Crystal, Ball, and don't you forget.
It's the one where I feel like she sounds drunk. All right. Well,
There's one more part I want to get to.
you're not blocked, Jay Baca. I'm just not going to say anybody's name. I saw what you said. I don't know if it's that person, though. No, it didn't. Well, no, it hasn't. This has been ongoing. Yeah, I just did a video on Micah Stauffer, and I did a video on Lori Daybell. Yeah, she knows enough to find your husband's work number. That's an odd combination of knowing enough to hunt. But that's not where my husband works. That's the thing. It's not my husband's work.
People keep saying that, and they're so
Stop. Don't yell. Don't. That's not where my husband works. It's not connected to my husband. It's a brewery of my husband's friend. And the people that work there don't even know who I am. But then they figured out that it was me because they Googled my name.
Katie,
And then they were like, oh, that's Todd's wife. She seems like she could be from Ohio and related to Micah. I know it's weird that they know his, well, no, because there's that group and they're like obsessed with my husband's band. So they might have done some sleuthing. You know what I mean?
Aha.
No, I don't think it's related to any story. I think it's connected to other things that are going on with me.
Just keep that in mind how she said there's this group and they're obsessed with my husband's band and they might have done some sleuthing. I'm going to follow that up with something in just a moment.
That's your gut feeling. I don't know. It does sound really personal. I know I love the person that runs passenger shaming too. Is this common to happen to reporters? Threats and stuff? Yeah, it's not uncommon. This kind of stuff happens to anyone in the public eye.
No, not
I'm
really.
literally just trying to figure out who it is. Well, I'm not trying to fuck with anyone, by the way. I know people seem oddly invested. It's weird. Yeah, see, she had passenger statements that I had someone tell me they wanted to chop my head off recently. No, the phone number was blocked. No, my husband's band does not play at gigs there. I just want to know who it is. So, they said it was blocked. I don't know. And they weren't calls to my house. So I don't like, I gave these to my attorney, but that's all I can do.
PM. Crystal, ball. Fuck with me, I'll fuck with her. Enjoy the bitch and she needs to die. 450.
I haven't. We haven't. No, the police here, like literally the police where I live, like the sheriff's office, are just like not very helpful with this kind of stuff. So I gave it to my attorney. The sheriff's office here, whenever we deal with this kind of stuff, they're like literally worthless. So, but it didn't happen here. It happened like an hour from here.
Right there. We're going to stop this now. Notice how she says, we're just going to give it to my attorney. Because there's like seemingly some confusion about where to report it because it didn't happen here. The calls actually went to a place that was like an hour from here, but they were about me. So even they don't even know who to report it to. That's her reasoning for not reporting it, even though in her post, in her tweet, she said, we're waiting for info so we can report it to the police, but they don't. They don't. Now, first, I'm going to show you some more backstory about the location of this brewery. Now, shortly after I did a video about this, I had someone leave me a comment in my YouTube under my video in my comment section. Now, oops, wait a minute. This is what they left. I covered up the name for obvious reasons, but it says, Austin and Nathaniel own the brewery. Todd's record company is Bindrune Records, owned by Marty. So this story is totally made up. P.S. I commented before, but included their full name, so I deleted my comment. I do not want in any way to dox anyone, even though the info was public. And then they followed it up with P.S. The brewery is in Minnesota and Bindrune is in Michigan. So how the heck is anyone going to associate the brewery to KJ? And I agree. They're just not. No one is. No one's going to do sleuthing and connect these freaking two. That's not going to happen. No, someone who orchestrated this had to have known the Paulsons very well and known who they are associated with and for what reasons. They would have had to know the entire backstory to know how to set this up. Unless, of course, it was an inside job, which I'm kind of the belief. However, I digress. Now, shortly after this happened, I couldn't let it go. Big surprise, I know. But no, for real. I was deeply bothered by the fact that no one was reporting this to the police, because as much as I despise Katie, she deserved to be looked after, to be protected. So if by some small chance these calls were legit, well, there needed to be a report made to protect her, no? And I just couldn't let it go that all these men involved, like as she pointed out in one of those first tweets I read there about how these men didn't deserve this harassment or whatever. Well, these men should have been protecting their wife and / wife of their associate. No. So I wrote Austin an email, and I kept it to Austin because that's the only name she provided. So now in the email, I said the following. Dear Austin, I'm writing to you in regards to the threatening voicemails your brewery received on behalf of Katie Joy Paulson. Katie revealed in a video your business received harassing phone calls on her behalf. Katie shared some of these on Instagram, and one of them in particular sounded especially concerning. The one where it said Katie needed to die. May I ask why it is that your company is not reporting these to police? I realize there are threats against Katie, but I also find it concerning for your company that they decided, for some ridiculous reason, to include your business into their hate and fear campaign. I am also reaching out to law enforcement in your area to learn what protocols should be followed in making such a report, and will happily share with you what I learn, as well as a contact name and number. My whole point of adding that in was to help provide the appropriate location or jurisdiction in which to make the report to. I would be worried for my business if some crazy person was calling me, leaving death threats against the spouse of an associate of mine. I would especially be worried for my associate and his family. I am dumbfounded that your company is not taking this more seriously. Thank you very much for your time. Erin K. Costello. So it was within days of her making the video that I sent this email out. So we'll just say I sent it by the 25th at the latest of June. And oh boy, what happened next? So here we go. There's a few of them. Now, this started here July 25th. Notice it's about a month later. And I told no one about my email, okay? Under Katie's Twitter, or one of her tweets there on Twitter, someone wrote, they will never approve of natural cures for any health issue because they protect and promote big pharma. Yada. Okay. It was something promoting pseudoscience. And now that's how I know Katie, is because we both were very active in the Facebook community that fought against misinformation spread on, in regards to pseudoscience and against vaccines. So I wrote, I hope you don't leave comments like these unchecked on your feed. Doing so only gives a platform for pseudoscience, something you used to fight against. Though I agree they have a right to a GoFundMe, meaning the people here, whatever, of any kind, I must insist the public they are targeting has a right to know what their money will be going towards. Unproven or disproven treatments by not doctors is information that should be transparent. So that's kind of what started, or at least reminded Katie of some shit. I don't know. So then I get this. But then she posts this. Oh no, this was a few days later. My bad. That's right. So on July 29th, I had tweeted, I've been blocked, hashtag blocked by Katie Joy for a couple/few months now on Twitter, but I never knew this hashtag existed. And then Katie shared this and wrote, this woman has stalked and harassed me for months. She contacted my husband's friend's work. Yep, she sure did. Contacted them because she didn't believe people left death threats about me. She also spammed and commented behind the block. So I'm unblocking her to call her out. So I get wind of this. I'm like, okay. So I show up. I said, I'm here. What would you like to say to me? Someone else commented, she just did. And then she quotes what she said. And then Katie writes, Erin likes to gaslight and troll people so that they lose their cool. She loves to do this to people that don't agree with her about everything. Check out her page. What's the harm? She lives for this. Now, I couldn't help but to notice she unblocked me to call me out. I'm guessing to address me. And then as soon as I comment and she replies, she's talking about me in the third person. Okay. Weird, but okay. I write, I admit that I call out people who lie, and especially call out the lies. And they likely feel gaslit from this, since it makes them look bad when they try to bury it. Now I called his employer, meaning she's referencing my sending that email to the recording label owner / brewery owner. And then she writes, we received a message that you contacted a brewery and left them a message or an email. They were not okay with that at all. Oh, I bet they weren't okay with it, probably because they realized what assholes Katie Joy made them look like. So then I wrote, yes, an email. I shared it on Twitter after you told the world I sent them an email, meaning shortly before this, I shared it on Twitter. I never even talked about doing this before then. So not like I was chasing clout or anything. I was genuinely concerned why they wouldn't report death threats against you. And for that whole month before she outed this here on Twitter, I never told a soul, because that's not what that was about. So I said, let me give some legal advice that your team of lawyers is obviously lacking. If you truly feel harassed or stalked by any of these peeps, stop constantly talking about them as you are instigating the whole situation every time. You're welcome. To which she replies, "You need help. You're welcome." Like, that's it? That's what you want to tell me? What do you have, I'm supposed to say, what do you have against people who may or may not need help? Why are you stigmatizing mental illness in this way? I digress though. If pointing out your errors, lies, and misinformation equates needing help, then the world is fucked. Why do you gaslight everyone? Admit what you do and move on. Leave me alone. I'm not stigmatizing anything. I'm telling you to get help because calling my husband's employer is not okay. Stop spamming and harassing my subs. Don't like me, don't watch. Karen, are you trying to control social media and who can post what where? You realize that every tweet, post, and video you make at myself or anyone else you don't like talking, all you're doing is instigating, right? You say this like you have any experience with me like this. Is there an episode I'm not aware of where I caused you to lose your cool? Keep gaslighting, Aaron. I know you. You know me. You run What's the Harm, which is a Facebook page. I used to help admin. Thanks for the advertising there. Are you trying to send crazy people at a bunch of pro-vax advocates who do this for free in their spare time? What did the other admin ever do to you? Why do you want to hurt vaccine advocacy like this? Oh my God, are you anti-vax now? Thanks for doxing me in the page here. Oh, there's the thing that started that whole thing. Okay. Funny how she tweets about me and points me out to her thousands of followers, yet somehow I'm the fucking stalker. I think she needs another social media timeout to think about her behavior. Katie Joy. Some crazy person called Hammerheart 40 times to threaten me. I'm making 3 videos about this. Oh, and buy my husband's new album. Internet/me. Why isn't this reported to police? I mean, they said they want her dead. Why not report it? Katie Joy. Stop harassing me. You told the brewery you run What's the Harm. That's why we know. Really? Because you all remember the email I just read, right? I said no such thing about What's the Harm. Hell, that wasn't even on my email signature. So yeah, I thought it was on my signature though when she said that. I assumed that must be where it came from. You mean my signature? But still, so what? Why are you blasting this to all your thousands of followers? Was this relevant? Nope. But you want to try and hurt What's the Harm since I'm an admin to the page. You care more about vindictiveness than you do vaccinated children. Nice, Karen. She runs an anti-vax page on Facebook where she calls out people that aren't vaccinating and other pseudoscience. Now answer me this. How would I be running an anti-vax page if I'm calling out people that aren't vaccinating? Make that make sense. I used to know her. I used to cover these topics due to my son's health. I stopped covering it. She somehow decided I'm the worst, and she and other trolls troll me for sport. When did I say you were the worst or that I was looking for a new sport? I still help run that page and covered an anti-vax rally in Albany this week, as well as worked with national news. I don't like people who use others by lying to them and exploiting them. That's all. Oh, wait, you're an anti-vaxxer? Bye, Katie says. I am not an anti-vaxxer. All right. No, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I help admin a pro-vaccine page that exposes anti-vaccine misinformation and harassing behavior, as well as debunks other pseudoscience. I don't know why she keeps calling it an anti-vax page. She's never been one to care much about accuracy. Oh, my bad. I thought that you supported that. Granted, everyone can have their opinions, but there's one thing that I just don't get. Oh, I agree completely. Erin is obsessed. She emailed husband's friend's work to ask if I was okay and to snoop about death threats. She's not well in the head. Now, okay, we need to have a look at this email again, okay? Because that's not what I said at all. Okay, here we go. So if you read over this, where did I ask if Katie was okay? Where did I ask if if these phone calls were real and actually came in? Where did I ask if she was lying? Where did I even insinuate that I had any belief of these things? Nowhere. I just asked the company, Why the hell aren't you reporting this? I sure as hell would. That's it. She's not well in the head. Well, valid, I guess, maybe, possibly. Why would you literally contact a brewery to ask about threats, honestly? You don't think that's weird? I just told you why. Look up. Goodbye, Aaron. You need help. Do not contact anyone in my private life again. I'm telling you, contacting my husband's employer and friends is so beyond crossing the line. Spamming and harassing my subscribers is beyond crossing the line. Participating in a hate group which targets and harasses me and then goes from creator to expose me is not okay. I didn't to begin with. You even said you didn't know these people. They never met you. Had to Google to find out who Katie Joy was on the voicemail. Also, you publicize these people by making videos about them and what happened. Not private, by your doing. How is calling someone's husband's employer pointing out lies and misinformation? Where I come from, that is called stalking. You have some serious mental issues if you think calling strangers employers and neighbors is okay. Neighbor, where the fuck did neighbors come from? You seem to have difficulty with reading comprehension. If that is what you got from reading my email. Also, what employer did I contact? Why does Katie keep saying employer and now you were saying this? This wasn't an employer. Katie said this much in her video. So Katie had wrote, why would I want their attention, Aaron? Maybe you have another friend of my husband's to call and harass. Perhaps you have another employer to harass. I said, no, I'm good. You taught me that keeping it civil and caring about you living or dying only gets used against me. Next time some poor business receives death threats toward you and doesn't report them, I'm going to sit back with popcorn and laugh. I told you there was a lot, right? Imagine emailing a brewery to ask about a woman they don't even know. Imagine spending all day subtweeting and commenting behind a block and then running back to a troll group. That's what she does. This was 2020, it shut down. Hello. We were all pretty bored, right? Yep, I have comments on every tweet I can't see because they create accounts and block me immediately. Yeah. I only comment on her shit from my actual account. So I don't have her blocked. I never had her blocked. Ever. I don't block anyone. I probably should, but I don't. I'll mute someone from time to time, but yeah, I don't block anyone. And I never muted her. I didn't even know that you could mute until like long after this. The silver lining is there are more people not willing to do what they do, but that doesn't give you peace on the day-to-day. I'm sure this has made you tougher, but this behavior, the way they dehumanize you, it's like a microcosm for how badly we need internet education. So many things. I've literally commented on maybe a dozen tweets of hers in the past couple of months. That's hardly all day. I also emailed the brewery asking why they weren't reporting these calls to police. Threatening calls like that should be reported. I'd be scared if it were me. Ow. If one email asking a company why they dismissed calls for a woman's death makes me obsessed, then what does that make her for dozens of targeted videos, emails, posts, tweets, comments, contacting sponsors, posting addresses, emailing employers, etc., against everyone? Oh, there's a picture of the email again. How do you know if they didn't call the police? How do you know if they didn't and then decided to? And she can tell social media if she wants to. What does that matter? I'm getting off this thing. I was going off of information Katie provided. If that information was wrong, then I'll happily correct my tweets. If they decided later on to report to the police, then I will happily say this. In fact, I want to be able to say this. Aaron, please go away. Your stalking is creepy. Stop calling my husband's friends work. Stop spamming my followers. Your obsession is unhealthy. Your harassment is beyond comprehension. We already know you can't comprehend shit, so it's not saying much. Aaron is obsessed. I already read that one. Why would anyone need you to make that call? Did that make you feel good? Well, I didn't feel bad. What I can't understand is why no one else made this fucking call. Why no one else found these calls to be a serious matter and worthy of reporting? Why no one else found Katie to be worthy of making this report for? Why did I have to inquire? No, you want information so you can have more drama. If that was true, then why didn't I tell social media of my email? Why didn't I post a screenshot of it when I sent it? Why did Katie have to tell you I emailed anyone if I'm the one who wants the drama? And last one. What is this whole thing about? A lawyer messaging someone from an opposing team through social media? Who is Tina? Oh, wait, that's something else. Okay, that's something else. My bad. Oh, well, we'll go ahead and read it. What is this? What is the reason you're sharing this private/business occurrence? Can you give more clarification? Oh, look at Katie Joy. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, look at Katie Joy trying to lure a Katie fact checker out of the open on social media. Looks like someone can't find Tina's real name or location. Why DMs? Just post it. It isn't Tina's job to make your harassment toward her easy on you. But this is fun to watch. Yeah, you need more tweets to get the full context on that one. So yeah, that is the story of the brewery. The harassing phone calls of the brewery. That is the story of how Katie tried to increase record sales on the day of her husband's album premiering. Yep. Now ask yourself this, okay? Those are the links. She's fine. She's comfortable going to those links just to sell a few more records. What the hell else is she capable of doing to protect her revenue? If she's going to go to those extremes to increase record sales by a barely noticeable amount, really, let's be honest. What kind of lengths can we expect if her income is threatened? I think that that's something that we all need to worry about because her income is regularly threatened, though by her, not by anyone else, but definitely by her through these lawsuits that she keeps finding herself in. And she cannot take responsibility for her situations. She blames everyone else around her for whatever hot water she finds herself in at that time. It's always somebody else's fault, the internet's fault, a Facebook group's fault, someone from England's fault, stalkers, harassers, hackers, whatever, you name it. It's always somebody else's fault. How far is she willing to go to place that blame on someone? That's something that people need to keep in mind. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.